jingle bells, jingle all the way. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Oh, Christmas. I love Christmas. It's my favorite time of year. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And for many reasons, it's my favorite time of year. But before we begin talking about, because, yeah, I'm going to ask all of you to respond to me and say why or why not Christmas is your favorite time of year. I know. We got 2 weeks to go, but still, it's exciting. Right now, so before we begin, I'd like to say good morning to Gregor, who is standing to my right side, chuckling away to himself. I'd like to say good morning to Chris, and I'd like to say good morning to all of you out there. Do we have anybody out there, Chris? I should ask, is there anybody there?
We do, and it was amazing, Rosemary. The chat room had already blown up before we went live.
Oh, good. Well, is that good? When you say blown up, I'm assuming that you don't actually mean blown up, do you? You mean people are on there. That's good because we are relying on everybody. Excuse me, we're relying on everybody to, get going here because it's Christmas, and my friend Mary Lou is here with us, and we've just been listening to some Christmas music. Jingle Bells was not one of those on the thing, was it? We didn't get Jingle Bells, but so I'm going to ask you all. Ready? Are you ready? I want you all to join in now. I want, if you are. If you celebrate Christmas, and I know that many of you don't, but if you celebrate Christmas, or even if you don't, right, I want to know what your favorite Christmas carol is. I'll tell you mine in a second. I have one that stands out amongst all the rest. Anyway, and then I'd also like to hear from you all. What is the favorite thing you love about Christmas? Now, oh, well, what is my favorite thing? I've got so many favorite things. Children, of course. I love the fact that at Christmas time, and I'll be going to New York in a few days to spend Christmas with my daughter and my granddaughter. And I love the fact that, most of the year you walk through New York and nobody speaks to you. Everybody's a bit dour faced, and, it's New Yorkers. Apparently that's what they say. And they seem very proud of the fact that, they're slightly sort of, not so friendly until we get to know you. We need to know who you are and so on and so forth. I find New York a little dour most of the year. Very, very unlike London, I have to say. But and also very unlike Toronto is one of the friendliest cities ever. Everybody speaks, everybody smiles at you no matter what. But I love the fact that, people are smiling. You walk through the streets, the lights are on, everybody's freezing cold, of course, but the lights are on everywhere and everybody's enjoying Christmas. There's something fun about the lights and seeing all the lights glowing. And I like the fact that at Christmas time, people tend to be a little nicer, I think, and a little nicer. There's something going on outside of my house here. We have to watch what's going on because of neighbors and things. Anyway, and so I just love everything about Christmas. I love the snow as long as I'm inside looking out, drinking my hot toddy. I did give you all the recipe for the hot toddy, and if you'd like it again, you missed it, I'm certainly happy to give it to you again because I love my hot toddies. In the when it's cold and you've been out in the snow, or you've been skiing, or not that I ski, but you've been skiing or snowshoeing. I used to snowshoe years ago. Or when you've been out there and the weather's cold, or you're making snowmen with your children or your grandchildren, and you come inside and you're freezing cold, and there is nothing nicer to drink, nothing nicer to make you feel warm than a hot toddy, as my father used to make them, let me tell you, in a very tall glass. Oh, they were good. They were so good. Anyway, so I'd like to hear So what is your favorite thing about Christmas? And I'd love to know what your favorite, if you have a Christmas carol or a song even that has to do with joy and love and happiness, because that's what Christmas to me represents. The birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, who is my personal savior, and you all believe whatever you want to believe, and we welcome all of you with open arms, whether you are whatever religion and whatever religious belief we have. I hate that word religion. It's the most, in my view, religion is the most misused word in any language, in the dictionary, anywhere you can find, because it means something different to almost every person. You know, if you say to somebody, well, I'm religious, or people say to me, well, are you religious? Well, what are you actually asking? Do I believe in God? Does that make me religious? Or do I believe in God and I go to church every week and I take communion, and or I'm Catholic, or what does it mean actually? And so the word religion means something different to everybody. So I'll try to avoid using that word, but I'd love to hear what your favorite Christmas carol is or similar. And mine is "Oh Come All Ye Faithful," because boy, when you've got a church filled with people singing that song, my voice, I have to tell you, a very strong voice. It used to be stronger before I became old and aged and wrinkled and all of those things. Anyway, I bet I could even belt it out now. If I was in a church singing with everybody else, my voice does actually transcend beyond others. I have to sometimes mute myself. When Samantha was little, I remember when she was about 10 or so, they always had a Christmas concert at the school, and it was always held in the church. It was a school church, and the church was right next to the school, and all the kids would be there. You know, we, the parents and grandparents, whoever we were in the congregation, and then all the kids were there and so on. And I can remember one time, and we were singing away some Christmas carol or another, and one little boy leans over to my daughter and says, "Your mum's here." It wasn't that he could see me, but he could definitely hear me. And I think that that's great, because although she was embarrassed, as you can imagine. And sometimes when we went to church together, we went to carol services together, she'd look at me before we went in and she'd say, "Don't sing loud." Don't sing loud. So occasionally I had to mute myself, but I love to sing out. And I think that's one of my favorite things also to do at Christmas time. So, Chris, what is your favorite thing at Christmas?
For all of Christmas, I would say it's just the connections with the people that I don't normally get to connect with all the time.
Okay.
It's like a warm wrap.
So Christmas for you is a time of connecting with people you don't connect with it through the year, which is okay. So that's good. Mary Lou, she's sitting here very quietly. She does not want to be on camera, but I'm asking you, what's your favorite thing at Christmas?
A lot, but I really enjoy the lights, the Christmas tree, the just getting into that holiday
That feeling.
festive feeling.
Yeah.
And Silent Night is one of my favorite.
Oh, Silent Night is your favorite Christmas carol. I like Silent Night too. I like all the Christmas carols. I'll sing them all. I know most of them by heart. Just the thing. A strange thing happened when I came to America, I have to say, because I've been a churchgoer all of my life, growing up, and I pretty much know every Christmas carol there is to know. When I came to the States, I remember going to some sort of Christmas concert, and all rise and sing the hymn, and I start to sing the hymn, and I have to stop myself because everybody else is singing. It's the same words, but a whole different tune. I'm thinking, that's not right. But, sometimes in different countries we have different tunes for different things. And I don't adapt very easily. When if I know a song, I know a song. I don't want to change it. I hate when these people do these. They like to modernize a piece of music. They like to jazz it up a bit, and I really don't like that. I like, can we keep the original was good enough and beautiful, and if it's good enough, for me, then that's how I like it to be. Although, on the other hand, I love it when my darling boy gets on the piano and starts to improvise. I can't have it always, can I? Chris, how are we doing? So let's
Oh,
see.
great. You've got a lot of comments in here, Rosemary.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear your favorite Christmas carol. Do you have one?
I would say it would be Mary, Did You Know?
Okay, yeah, I like that one too. All right. Okay, go.
All right. So, uh,
Sorry, but it's go, go, go.
all
Okay.
right. Gina says Away in a Manger is her
Oh
top
yeah, I love
carol.
that. I love that. Yeah, I used to sing that to Reese, even though it wasn't Christmas when he was a baby. I'd hold him in my arms and I was rocking him to sleep. And he used to have trouble when he was a small baby. And well, to be honest, I don't know what the neighbours in Samantha's apartment building were thinking, but there are what would be at 2 and 3 in the morning, rocking Reese and Away in a Manger is, just, yeah, great. Go.
Violet agrees with that song, is also saying Merry Christmas to you and sending lots of love at Christmas.
Okay, all right, keep going. And to you too.
Annika is saying music in a church is such a beautiful thing.
It truly is. It truly is. Which reminds me to tell all of you before we go any further, my grandson went for his auditions. Got nothing to do with Christmas, although it is Christmas. He went for his audition on Sunday. Tough, very tough auditions. It's something that they have around the world. They open it up to Europe, places like Italy, Germany, France, England. They open it up to Canada. I think Japan is involved as well. So in order to get to play in the top section in this one particular hall at Carnegie, you got to get at least 27 out of 30 points. 30 is the maximum you can get. My grandson went for his audition, very nervous because he's done it twice now. So there's this high expectation, and he didn't think he'd done very well, and whatever. Anyway, to cut a long story short, you don't want to hear about my grandson. He got a 29 out of 30. Yes, he's such a wonderful kid. And so he'll be playing again at Carnegie March the 15th, I think it is. So if anybody wants, you can just go buy tickets, come and see my grandson playing. He is adorable. But anyway, sorry, Chris, moving on. Let's get back to everybody else. Sorry, we were talking about music. So
That's awesome. Congratulations to
yeah,
Reese.
thank you. Yeah, okay, go.
All right. Judith says I am partial to the first Noel.
Oh yeah. All these are all my favorites too. It's just that
Gary's
Come All Ye Faithful just as that extra little thing for me. What's Gary saying here?
we know Gary. Gary says my favorite song on Christmas is Happy Birthday.
Okay. All right. Well, we all know that it's Christ's birthday, and yes, yes, yes. I had another visit yesterday, but that's not my story to tell, so I can't say anything about it. It isn't my story to tell, but oh boy, anyway, moving on, Chris. Moving on.
All right. Maggie loves the Trans-Siberian Orchestra and the Mahalia Jackson Christmas songs.
I'm not sure that I know those. We'll have to look them up. Interesting. I'd like to know more about that. Curious. Okay.
Rhonda
Okay.
says I love the lights and the beautiful music and especially baking.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, talking of baking, my grandson has a whole list of things that we have to do when I get there. Every time he'll say to me, so what have you done today? He asks me every day, what did you do today, Mosey? And sometimes it's cooking. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, I made bread for my neighbors, and she said, we've never made bread together. Can we make bread when you come at Christmas? So that's on the list. We're making marzipan, of course. It's the first year I did not make a Christmas cake. I have to rectify that. I'm probably going to make it somewhere in January or February this year. So it will be perfect for next Christmas, because the longer you keep it, the more it ferments. This is why you have to make them at least 6 to 8 weeks beforehand. And I was just, I'm going to blame the hurricane and things. I'm not sure that's quite true, but that's what I'm going to do. But unfortunately, this year we don't have a Christmas cake to decorate, but we do have marzipan animals, and we have marzipan fruits, and we have edible paints, and we're going to make a real mess. And we'll probably video it so you can all see what we're up to. And he has a whole list of other things that we're going to be doing as well. Okay, Chris, keep going.
Dean says, no favorite carols for me, as there are so many that touch my heart in different ways. But one favorite is In the Bleak Midwinter.
In the bleak midwinter. Dee, 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 dee. That one, I love that one. Yeah, I love that one too. But we should all know, I should mention that Dean is a musician, a wonderful musician, and his whole life has been all about music. So I can understand, Dean, why it must be hard for you to pick one out. Keep going.
All right. Mark says, Silent Night and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, because it reminds me of my mom and dad since I live so far from them.
Oh, Silent Night. Yes. Is it Silent Night, Holy Night, or is it Holy Night, Silent Night? I'm never quite sure which comes first. Don't you know that one? Holy Night.
Silent Night first.
Silent Night. All is calm. Are you going to sing with me?
Sure.
All is bright. I love that
Nobody
one.
would want to hear that.
Okay, go on. All right, Chris. We're having a little sing-song here.
Judith says, the favorite things are my memories of Christmas with my entire family as a child. The favorite carol is hard to choose because I love so many.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Keep going.
All right.
This is fun. I like this. I love to hear what you're all doing and what you're all up to.
Annika says, the 12 Days of Christmas, sung by Roger Whittaker. Merry Christmas, Darling by the Carpenters, and All Is Well are my favorites.
All right. I mean, I love Roger. I love to hear Roger Whittaker. Gosh, that's a name I've not heard for a while. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Sandra says, Oh Holy Night.
Of course. Who wouldn't love that?
Judith says, I'm so happy you will be able to spend Christmas with your family.
Me too. Is that
Let's
it?
see.
Are we done for a little bit?
Well, not if you want to keep hearing what their favorite songs are or their favorite Christmas things are.
I'll tell you what. Let's come back to it. Okay. So now we are very, very close to Christmas now. Is it less than 2 weeks or? Yes, we're less than 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks last Wednesday, I think. Not sure if Christmas Day is Tuesday or Wednesday. My daughter and grandson and her friends are going to her house this weekend for mince pies and sherry, which is a tradition in our house. We decorate the tree. We have all that beautiful Christmas music on. We have the mince pies and we have the sherry. My favorite sherry is Harvey's Bristol Cream. If you've not tried it, you really should try it. It's great. It's good. It's delicious. And everybody decorates the tree. And unfortunately, I will not be there to decorate the tree with them, although I know that my grandson will hold one bauble, let's say, back from the decorating. What they don't know is I'm bringing some with me also. So I shall, I'm arriving there on Monday, so we'll have a little, well, more mince pies and more sherry, and we'll do that as soon as Reese is off school. We'll do that. We'll have fun, sort of adding a few ornaments to the tree. But my daughter has a thing about the tree. She's just as bad as I am. She has a color scheme on that tree, so you have to make sure if you buy a bauble or if you buy something special, it's got to go with the color scheme, which her tree always looks gorgeous. And next Thursday, for next Thursday's show, we will be doing a show next Thursday. It will be the final one before Christmas. And you'll probably see me with the tree in the background, all of the lights and the little village that she has up there with all the lights, the candles glowing and all the rest of it. Yeah. So we're going to be having a very Merry Christmas. We're eating duck à l'orange. My favorite is my favorite to cook. I like the skin as crispy as I can get it. And yes, it's always a favorite with us. And of course, for my grandson, I have to do the roasted potatoes, which he absolutely loves. Anyway, so okay, so yes, so this has been a week. It's been an extraordinary week. I have had visitors in my house. Let's see. I can only tell you so much, but next, I really want to tell this story. It is not my story to tell, and I have to ask permission from a very good friend of mine in New York State who's listening in. So I have to ask his permission. I think he'll give it, but I'm not sure. Don't never assume. But I'm going to tell the story, hopefully, and if I don't tell this particular story, I'm going to tell another story of an angel. And I'm going to tell that story next week. So even though you'll get a chance to talk, to chat, so on, it's Christmas. So it'll be just a few days before we actually seriously begin our celebrations. It'll be next Thursday, and Christmas is the following Wednesday, I think. Tuesday night is Christmas Eve. And so I'm going to be telling an angel story for Christmas. And I'm hoping that, when you're having your Christmas dinner, and even for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, I'm going to tell the angel story, so that it's a story that, reminds us in the oddest of ways. It reminds us that even though we think we're alone, even though we forget often that our angels are around us, something can happen that can actually shake us to our core. It might last a second or two. It might last 5 minutes if we're lucky, but it's something that can happen that only our angels can give us, which just renews, enhances, and brings together all of the doubts and the fears that we've had over the year or the years. That angels really, really do exist. And I can remember the first time I ever saw an angel, and it was, I don't know how many years ago, 100 or something. No, I'm just teasing, but I do remember the very, very, very first time I saw an angel. I remember stories of angels. Once you've seen an angel, or in my case, I've seen hosts of angels, groups of angels, unexpectedly sort of moving around us. Once you've seen an angel, once seen, never forgotten. It's sort of like it's sort of kind of burrows into your head, into your mind, and you can never undo it. You can never unsee it. You can never undo or unhear what it is they if they're lucky enough to, if you're lucky enough to hear them speak to you, you can never undo it. And as I've often said, angels come in many forms, many shapes and sizes, and I've written in my books, you know, an angel can be that, you know, snot-nosed little kid running on the street, ragged shoes, ragged clothes. That could be your angel. The most unlikely angel that you could ever see, dirty and ragged and snotty and whatever, that could be your angel. Or your angel could be that man who sits next to you on the bus or the train or the plane, wherever, who is, you know, smelly and old and coughing and spluttering, and you just wish that you didn't have to sit next to him. Be careful, because that could be your angel. The angels come in so many forms, and no, they don't always come with halos and wings. No, you don't. They don't come in obvious forms, although I've seen them many times in let's say obvious forms with their wings and that incredible light behind them. But angels can surprise us. They are amongst us, and you know, that angel could be that man who's drunk on the street, waving his bottle about all over the place, and then suddenly just looks at you and gives you that certain look, and suddenly he's not that drunken guy on the street waving his bottle about. You never know when you can come across your angels. You never know when your angels will find you for one reason or another. So anyway, so I've had actually, I've had a couple of angels in the last couple of days that I've seen, and the most wonderful thing, although, you know, he actually, when I'm going to say didn't come for me, but I think, you know, when you see Jesus Christ and he is standing in front of you, and all you can do is the tears are just streaming, and all you can do is just really him again. You know, yes, he comes for others, but I also think he comes for me to teach me things also, and you know, to teach me that you know, goodness is paramount and should be paramount amongst us. I've been listening also this week to that young man, that poor young man who tackled some guy, and inadvertently he was killed, not meant to be killed, but this guy was he was an ex-Marine, I think, or an ex-soldier anyway, and he's been, you know, in jail. He's been awaiting, you know, prison or what's going to happen to him. You've all seen it on the news. And finally he was acquitted, but there are still people coming after him. I mean, you know, it's called honor. He didn't do it so that people would label him as a hero. He didn't. When people stand up, when people step forward, it's a very scary thing to do. When you see something going on in the street, you know, don't get involved. I tell my daughter all the time, walk away, go away, don't get involved, because it's a dangerous thing to do. But there are certain situations that demand honor. And when we talk about honor, we talk about our soldiers who go to war for us. We talk about how we honor them with medals and so on and so forth. But there are lots of ways we talk about, you know, in the Bible it says honor your mother and your father. What does it actually mean? I think we've all forgotten what the word honor truly means. And part of being an honorable person is that you try to honor even the worst among us. You try to honor them by giving them the benefit of the doubt, or by, you know, understanding we've all got faults and failings. Honor is a very difficult thing, and I think certainly in this country and around the world, it's not just in America, it's around the world. I think people have no honor. There are so many people who have no honor. And if it hit them on the head, they still wouldn't recognize it as honor. And I'd love to hear, you know, your take on that. but it distresses me greatly that, you know, when we have honor, we try to do the right thing. Very often we are ostracized for it, we are criticized for it, we are made to feel like, you know, we did something wrong, because we're speaking out. I mean, you know, in school they tell you speak out if you see bullying going on, if you know, speak out. And how many kids dare to do it, and how many teachers are honorable enough when they see it happening, turn a blind eye? How many of us as the public or as parents, how many times do we see it on our own kids who are perhaps a little bullying or a little pushy? We don't want to see it in our kids, do we? But honor should demand that we stand up and we speak out, and that we honor other people. We honor, you know, we honor people's viewpoints. We honor the fact, or we should honor the fact that, you know, in whatever area it is, whether it's whether we're talking about, you know, how, you know, medicine, whether we're talking about how many pills are pushed down our throats all the time, whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about, you know, the guy on the bus being rude to us. It doesn't matter what we talk about. Honoring somebody else's opinion is so important to us. And it seems to me that we have lost honor in a huge way. And I, for one, I'm going to try to, in my own way, by example, with my daughter and with my grandson, I'm going to show them what it is to be an honorable person, and to encourage them to be honorable also, and to talk about how important honor is in our world today. I'm done lecturing now. Chris, how are we doing? Let's have some comments or questions, shall we?
All right. Well, Judith said, Rosemary, you told me I would be fine after surgery. I do believe you, and I have improved, but not as much as the doctors hope for. Do you have any tips on why and what I can do? Thank you so much for your encouragement.
Uh, well, I actually think you are fine. I didn't say that you would be 100%, but I think you are fine. You're here with us today. You're talking. You actually mentioned what you love about Christmas and family memories. I mean, how fine do you want to be? Do you want to, you know, I'm actually sitting here, not that I'm comparing my issues with yours. I'm not, Judith, I promise you, but I'm sitting here with a knee brace on. And when people say to me, how are you doing? I'll say, I'm fine. Am I 100%? Of course not. I've got this ridiculous cough that keeps coming up every now and again. I don't, you know, we get to a certain age, and as long as we're walking around and we're not, you know, paralyzed or something, I think we can say we're fine. So my suggestion is to you, focus on the things that you can do, focus on the things that are fine, focus on the good stuff. And I think as you work towards doing that, you'll get stronger and stronger and better and better. So I think darling, I think you're doing fine. I think you're going to do even better than fine, but you've got to work on the negativity, I think. Chris.
Gary's asking, how can we show appreciation to our angels?
Oh, you just send all that appreciation to me. I'll pass it on. What do you mean? How can you show appreciation to your angels? Okay. A few years ago, I wrote a book. In this little book, it's just a little book. It's called Angels in Training. And in this little book are literally, I think, 52 things, 52 little exercises that you can do to help your angels. And I would like to think that all of us, and I think we're, you know, no matter how hard I work, I'm not ever sure I'm going to get the halo, or if I get it, it's probably going to be around my neck somewhere. But I think that what we have to do is we have to do our best for each other. We have to be as kind as we can be to each other, and be, you know, when I when I look to Christ, you know, of course I would love to be like him. I know I'm never going to achieve that, but I'm doing my best to try to emulate his words and deeds. And when we think about our angels and what they do for us and how wonderful they are for us, I think what they would like for us to do is to be more angels in training, you know, to do for others, to smile at others. I mean, sometimes it just takes a smile. There are people walking around on the street, nobody's even looked at them in what weeks or months. I remember having a lady come to my healing center when I was in England, and the first thing I did was I put my arm around her and brought her in, and she told me later it's the first time since my husband died, which was like 4 or 5 years ago. It's the first time that since my husband died that anybody has put their arm around me or held me. And she has 3 sons who absolutely love her to pieces, but you know, they're not emotional, they're not demonstrative. And that saddened me so much because she's lovely and I know her boys love her to pieces. But I said to her, then you've got to be the one, come here and give me a hug. You know, don't stand over there, I'm a hugger. When people come to see me, or you know, people come for dinner or whatever it is, and they say thanks very much, I say never mind the thanks, give me the hug. You know, I think we have to try to be the people we think our angels would like us to be, angels in training. And if you're in any doubt as to what kinds of things you can do, Angels in Training is available somewhere or another. And there are 52, that's one a week, 52 exercises, 52 suggestions of what you might want to do or what you can do. And believe it or not, some of those exercises are not about being kind or nice to others. Some of those exercises are about being kind to ourselves and giving to ourselves, which is such an important thing. So just, you know, Gary, I know you well. Just be you. Just be you. It's good. Chris.
Mary says my best friend's mother's property was maybe on Native American burial grounds. She is elderly and has a lot of issues with her home. Is it cursed from the spirits that were there first?
My immediate answer is no. I don't think it is. But there are certain, you know, there are certain areas in the world, there are certain places you can go where the energy is immediately different. And it's possible that it's possible that the place or house is built on, it's possible, I'm not saying it's likely, but it is possible that maybe there's some sort of disturbed energy. I don't think it's got anything to do with ghosts or ghouls or things that go bumping the night. I don't think it's got anything to do with the ancients, the old ones, the grandfathers, as they call them, sort of giving her a hard time or cursing the house. It's possible that all it needs, which I personally would suggest, I don't know where you live, if you lived around the corner from me, I'd come and do it for you, but it might just need, a cleansing with some good old sage. And if you don't know of anybody who can do it, you can look on the internet and there's so many different suggestions of how you do it, but sage is the way to go. And you can buy sage sticks. You can get them on Amazon, actually. You can get them anywhere. You can buy sage sticks, and all you do is sort of light them. Don't do what I did. I almost set a fire in a very, very expensive villa in Italy once years ago. Good thing I was doing it over the sink. But, just I felt the house needed saging or cleansing. And I think if you do that, I think it's going to make you feel better. Your friend's mother, I think it was, feel better. But cleansing is always a good way to go. And we can actually often, if it only requires it once or once a year or once every couple of years. But it is always a good thing to do, especially if you're moving into a house, to sort of give it a good old cleansing and bring that good energy in. That's always a positive and a good thing to do. Chris,
Mark says, I have a question for Gray Eagle.
here we go. That's for Saturday. Go on, Mark.
I was house sitting my friend Kathy and Bob's little dog named Wrigley, and he could see someone in the house and would often look to the dining living area of the house and bark a couple of times. Can you tell me if it's a woman or man that he sees?
No, I'm going to say both. So there you have it. So I think there's more than one person that he sees. It reminds me of my puppy Karma, who just, oh gosh, we used to have students come in, and if they hadn't been before, they would, and Karma would be laid on the rug and nice and quiet and peaceful, and all of a sudden he would sort of sit up and he would look into a corner of the room and he'd stare as if he could see something, and then he'd stare for a while, and all of a sudden his head would whip around as if what he was staring at has moved, and some of the students used to freak out a bit. I thought it was great. Our animals see and sense and are aware of many, many things. It's about the energy, and of course animals sense that energy far more and far quicker than we do. Okay, Chris, keep going.
Selena has 2 questions.
Yes.
I have a very important job opportunity coming up next Thursday, and I don't feel confident enough in myself in any aspect of my life, really. Is there a message from my guardian angel?
Just get on with it, get on with it, take it, take it, take it. Just do it. You're more than capable. Believe in yourself. Remember, as Christ has said to us often, even though you don't believe in me, I believe in you. So believe it. Believe that your angels are with you. Get on with it, and you can do it. I'm not suggesting that you should be overconfident, because that's worse than being underconfident. But believe that you can do it and go in there knowing that you can do the job and see what happens. Okay, Chris.
There are a number of people saying how excited they are for Saturday.
So my my only issue, I'm just giving you all a heads up now. My only issue is I've got this wretched dry cough that comes on from time to time, and we are expecting, actually that's not true, we are hoping that Grey Eagle is going to come through. We're hoping that I'm going to go into, as often happens when he's there, into some kind of a trance state, and I'm hoping that the cough doesn't interrupt. I'm sure he's got plans for it. So if I start coughing and choking, that's, that unfortunately, that's, years and years ago, to tell you the story, some of you have heard it before. Years and years ago, we used to have this, in our group sessions, we used to have this old lady who would come through from the spirit world, and I would go into sort of like a semi-trance state, and she would come in, she'd use my body. Unfortunately, this physical body of mine is breaking down, I'm afraid. I'm getting older, and it's, not doing so well all the time. And but at the time, I was perfectly healthy and well, and she would come through from the spirit world, and she would sort of, this is what happens, is that she would enter my body, as Great Eagle would enter my body, use my voice, use my voice box. I don't know quite how it's going to work this time because of the cough and all the rest of it. But this old lady, boy, oh boy, every time she came, and she would come to us fairly often, she was great. Oh my gosh, what she didn't know. She would look at someone, maybe let's say 50-year-old, and she would tell them where they were and what they were doing when they were 2 years old, and she gives them the address, street name. She was way better than I am. She was amazing, amazing. She just had this incredible knowledge. But she had one complaint every single time she came through to talk to us. Excuse me, she had this one complaint that I had too many teeth. She would say, she would cluck and, tut tut, and she'd be irritated. When she first sort of started to get used to me, she would really complain that I had too many teeth. She had to work around my teeth a little bit. So hopefully we'll work around the cough and we'll be fine. I'm trusting, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm so glad that all of you who are coming are, as well, looking forward to it. If anybody's listening who does not know what we're talking about, I think we have 1 or 2 tickets left. And so on Saturday the 14th, which is in 2 days' time or whatever it is, it's coming up this Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 o'clock British time. That's all I can do. Can't do anything else. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 1 o'clock. So with 3 hours, we're going to be talking with Grey Eagle, hopefully keeping my fingers crossed. I know he's going to be there. And you never know, we may have other visitors. Also, we'll be giving messages, and we'll be, allowing people to ask questions. You can ask questions of Grey Eagle, and when, while he's doing this. And of course, then there'll be a time when it's just me, or maybe it won't just be me. Of course, Grey Eagle will be by my side, and I've got a suspicion we might get somebody else as well, but I don't know. Who knows what's going to be happening on Saturday? The session will be recorded. So for those of you who would like to have a recording of it, I'm sure, we'll let you know what we're doing about that. Who knows what we're doing about that? But the recordings will be available one way or another. And yes, I'm excited. Are you excited, Mary Lou?
Oh, yes.
You've been before, right? You've seen it
Yes.
before.
Yes.
How many times before?
Yeah, just 2 years ago. I couldn't make it last year.
Right.
And I definitely enjoyed it.
It's very rare that this happens, I'm going to tell you. Very, very rare. I mean, not even on 10 fingers. If I put 10 fingers up, I'd have, it's a very rare opportunity to hear from him, and his wisdom is amazing, amazing, amazing. And it's very rare that we make this public. So if you have not got a ticket and you're thinking, wait a minute, this is something I need to be at, please email Rosemary at Rosemary Altea. Is that right, Chris? Did I do that
.com.
right? .com, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com, and put in the subject line tickets, because we'll be, I think we've got 1 or 2 left. That's about, so get on with it if you want to come. Don't leave it to the last minute, because you'll miss out. Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, keep going.
I think we've got about time for 2 more questions.
Okay.
Lorraine says, hello, my sister who had cerebral palsy passed a few years ago. I often wonder how she is doing. Is she with mom and dad? And I also wanted to know how she dealt with her condition on an emotional level, and what her thoughts were growing up with the family. We always noticed how independent she wanted to be and was very capable getting around. So thank you.
Unfortunately, who is this lady? What's her name?
This is Lorraine.
Lorraine. Unfortunately, Lorraine, we actually don't have time for me to answer all of these questions. I'm going to suggest that if you can find a good medium, because I have a feeling that your sister would love to get in touch with you and has lots to say. I have spoken to many young people who have been born with cerebral palsy. It's a horrible, horrible disease. Sometimes it's mild and sometimes it's more severe. if you go to the Eagle and the Rose, which is, was that written by? Oh, that's my book. If you can find the Eagle and the Rose, and you can read the story of David, which is the last but one story in the book. And David, oh my gosh, David has a story for you. And he talks about, he has cerebral palsy. He talks about this effect on him, so on and so forth. Suffice it to say, Greg Eagle does tell me she's fine, she's safe, and not at all in any way, shape, or form physically impaired. I'm hearing somebody laugh. I'm hearing a lovely lady laughing behind. I want to tell you that, and also a message for you for Christmas. Can you please hang a star, a silver star on the tree just for me? And I have a feeling she's going to let you know one way or another that she's around, but she is fine. I wish I could go into more detail with all the questions you have, and I'm sure you have tons of them, but my suggestion is read the story of David in The Eagle and the Rose. It's the last but one story. I usually tell people don't skip to the end. Read from the beginning, but the David story I think you'll find particularly a good one for you to hear. Chris.
This is from James. Hello, Rosemary.
Hi, James.
Me and my partner lost our cat on the afternoon of December 3rd. His name is Driller, named after the Tulsa Golden Driller landmark. Do you have any sign he has crossed into the spirit world? Thank you.
Well, I actually know the answer is yes, only because I'm being told that Greg Eagle is telling me yes. I'm also told he was in a way your angel. So I think that he gave far more to you than somebody might imagine a cat would give to somebody. But he's a kitty. He's a beautiful kitty, and I'm actually glimpsing. I've got this little animal keeps walking across my face here. All I can tell you is that he is fine. I'm so sorry for your loss. I know how difficult it is when we lose our pets. I still think of all of my puppies. My grandson's puppy Apache had his third birthday on a Monday, and you know, they're so important to us and so part of our lives. I have a feeling, though, that some other little creature is going to make its way into your life in a very, perhaps an unusual way. So watch out for that. All right, Chris, I know you have to get off because you've got appointments and things, and I think we're done. So next Thursday will be the last Thursday of the year, because I'm taking a break. After that it's Christmas and then it's New Year. So next Thursday will be our last for the year show, and I'm going to tell you an angel story if I'm allowed to do that, permitted to do that. And if I can't tell you the angel story I want to tell you, I'm going to tell you another one anyway. I might even tell two or three. You will get obviously you'll get get to ask questions if you want to, and you'll see me hopefully keeping my fingers crossed with a beautiful Christmas tree behind me. So I'm looking forward to next Thursday. For those of you who are coming on Saturday, I'm so excited. We do this, we try and do this as often as we can, but it's a rare thing that we do. So I'm hoping, have your questions ready, everybody. Don't sit there wondering what should I say, what should I ask. Get your questions ready. You may not, I can't guarantee you'll all be able to ask all your questions, but you will hopefully have the ability to ask a question, and you'll find probably that other people who have questions, oh, I was going to ask that one. So you'll get your question answered, even if we're not able to, through time, come to you. But we do have 3 solid hours of this. And so I'm hoping my knee will hold out and my cough will not interfere. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. So until I see you all again, I'd like first of all to say thank you to Grey Eagle, who is as always standing to my right side. I'd like to say thanks to Chris. I'd like to say thanks to all of you who are out there who've been joining us, and we love it. Christmas is coming. The geese are getting fat. Do you know that one? Please put a penny in the old man's hat. Do you know that?
Never heard that.
She never heard it. We used to sing that. It's an old Victorian thing. Christmas is coming. The geese are getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. That was when a penny was worth a lot. Anyway, if you do see an old man or a raggedy child, or if you do see someone who might need help, we saw we went into McDonald's. Yes, I know. I only eat the chicken. I don't eat all the stuff. I just eat a chicken thing. But sometimes there's a guy there who's homeless, and we like buying a burger from time to time. If you do see somebody in need, be an angel, would you? Yes, be an angel. Be an angel in training. There you are, Gary. Be an angel in training. Don't spend what you don't have to spend. You don't, just do it if you can afford it. And if not, here's the best gift you can give for Christmas is a smile. That's the best thing you can get. Until I see you all again, thank you for joining us, and looking forward to Saturday. I'll see hopefully the rest of you on next Thursday. Till I see you all again, please everybody, have a very, very blessed rest of the day, and have a blessed